What drove you to say that, Coach?
Well, there was a question before that asked me. We were they'd ask about our effort, and I just said we have to improve our effort. And the one reporter was great and said, I noticed a few of the opposing players are running past your kids in transition. At what point in time as a player do you recognize that? And I really didn't have an answer for him because, when somebody's running past you, if you can't recognize that, we've got problems.
Mm-hmm.
It's as they go, and then we just kind of went on from there, just discussing. To me, losing, you can learn a lot from it, but it's got to mean something to you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I think that's when I said, we lost the game and we're losers. And it doesn't mean you're a loser in life. It doesn't mean you're a loser as a person. But you lost the game. And to me, you've got to be able to walk away going, hey, I lost the game. I'm a loser of that game.
Mm-hmm.
What am I going to do to change? And unfortunately, I just feel, and it's my opinion, and we live in a great country where we can all have our own opinions, that I think we've desensitized losing. I've got an 11-year-old, 8-year-old, 3-year-old, and 1-year-old. And my 8-year-old played in a soccer and a basketball league where they didn't keep score.
Oh,
but I promise you the kids all kept score.
Mm-hmm.
When they come home, I'm asking my son, how did you do? Well, we won. I'm like, well, how do you know you won? You didn't keep score. He's like, well, we keep score. And it's okay to get beat as long as you're giving great effort. And that's what we talk about, because I think in order to prepare for the future, you have to learn to accept failure at times, but not be happy with it.
Let me ask you this, Coach. Let me ask you this, because I think you really open up an incredibly interesting dialogue. And we're talking to Jeff Walz, head coach of Louisville women's team, who's top 10 power program, but this really caught our eye. So I want to distinguish between a lack of effort and the trophy generation. And the reason I position it that way is I'm quite sure, and I'm sure you've read all the books, The Pyramid of Success with John Wooden,
yes.
Bobby Knight books, Season of the Brink. I'm sure you read them all like I have. I would imagine that whether it was the 50s and the 60s and the 70s with Wooden or Bobby Knight in the 80s into the 90s and obviously in the 70s as well, that even the coaches, Newt Rockne, had guys that didn't play hard on a particular night. Why is there a direct correlation for you between not playing hard within that moment of the game and the trophy generation? It's not necessarily all the same.
Well, to me, as I look at it, is I've been doing this for 20 years now in women's basketball, and I started for just the love of coaching. And as it's gone through my 20 years, as there is no loser's bracket in tournaments. It's the left side of the bracket and the right side of the bracket. Because we've desensitized everything when it comes to, we don't want to say you're a loser. And then at the end, we're passing out trophies to try to make someone feel good so they don't feel like they've not accomplished something. Mm-hmm. I'm all for, guys, and I want to make sure this is out there, I'm all for a completion certificate. I completed a youth basketball league. Mm-hmm. I completed a softball league. That's great, but everybody doesn't walk home with a trophy, because at the end of the day, what are we preparing them for? Because there's winners and losers. I had the opportunity. I've followed your career, Tiki, in football, and you played in the Super Bowl, correct?
Yep. And we got beat up pretty bad.
You did not walk away with that Vince Lombardi trophy.
Nope.
And I don't know, I've gotten beat twice in the finals by UConn, and they don't hand out a second-place trophy.
Yeah.
Now, does it mean we didn't play hard? No, I've watched our game film several times from both of those games. And our kids competed. We played our tail off. We just got beat by a better team.
Yeah, they were just better. Now, let me ask you this question, Coach. What does your team say when you go on a rant like this? It's not really a rant, but you know what I mean. When you position the competitive space, which you guys play in, like this, what does your team say? How do they respond to you?
Well, the team, from our press conference from our game on Sunday, they were behind me 100%. We sat down and we've watched the film, and they understand, hey, in order for us to be great, we have to put in great effort. Does that mean you're going to win every game? No. They know I love them, and I think that's what gets lost some. I want them to be great. I want them to strive for greatness, and I'll never change my stance on that. But I also want them to understand that you don't get rewarded for mediocrity. You want to push. I want them to get great jobs. And no matter what their job is, I want them to be great at that job. And that's what we're trying to teach them here, and they're very receptive to it. And they are very positive, have worked extremely hard, understand where we have to get better. So I'm excited to coach these young women, and they know me, and they know that I'm not going to settle for them not to give their best.
I love it. This is a guy I'd want to play for you, Coach. Not that I'd be good enough, and not that I'm a woman, but if you coach, if there was like a Division VI in basketball and there was a men's team, I think I'd enjoy playing for you. Jeff Walz, who is with the University of Louisville, head coach of the women's team, top 10. Terrific program. It is an interesting conversation. Wanted to bring him on the show here on Tiki and Tierney.
Hey, Coach,
and I appreciate it, guys, because I will tell you this. I answer my own phone. I respond to my own emails, and I've gotten a lot of emails from both sides of it.
Yeah.
But I reply to every single one of them. And if somebody takes the time to email me, I'm going to take the time to reply to them. And I've had unbelievable dialogue that's come from this, and at no means did I intend it to get to where it's gotten.
Yep.
I just spoke from the heart. But when I'm getting emails from high school coaches who have sat down with their teams and had them watch it and then had them do a question and answer, and they're sending me those responses. And, one of them about everybody does not deserve a trophy, and the response from one of the players was, I think he's speaking directly to me because I've always wanted to play, but I don't always put the effort that's needed to play. Now I know I need to work hard in order to get that opportunity.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
So, for me, I'm like, hey, you know what? I never intended to get here, but for some people, it's possibly helping. For others, they might not agree with it, and that's completely
that's too
okay
bad.
Also.
It's too bad if they don't agree.
Yeah, but that's life, and life is about failure. Coach, we only have about 90 seconds here, but maybe about a minute left. But we had a conversation earlier about the Golden State Warriors and the dominance that they are displaying right now. UConn, you mentioned them beating you guys and losing in a championship. I mean, it seems like Gino's got those guys in the finals, winning always. Is that good for women's basketball?
I think it is. We're striving to get there. They played Notre Dame last night at Notre Dame, ranked number 1, and beat them by 11. We're actually breaking film down right now of that game, and we're going to split screen it, show our players this is how they defend the ball. This is how we look when we defend the ball. If you want to get to there, then we have to work to get to where they are. And there's no a better team to try to chase at this point in time. I enjoy watching him play, and it's amazing what he's done. He gets great players to continually play hard, and that's not always easy to do.